Good morning and welcome to the fifth quarter Arizona. My name is Danny Neal and I will be your co-host for today. And today, my usual co-host, Coach Johnson, he's out on his little Champion State celebratory tour with his team this morning, having breakfast at Mike and Rhonda's. I want to thank Mike and Rhonda's for sponsoring the team, bringing them in for breakfast this morning, and just really celebrating the success of the Lady Eagles this year. So, Coach, enjoy breakfast. Ladies, enjoy breakfast, and we'll see you back next week. Sorry I couldn't be there with you, but hey, somebody got to hold the show down, man. So, that being said, we got the man who can always hold the show down when Coach Johnson or myself is not here. The man that has a plethora of information, knows everything about high school sports in Flagstaff, Arizona, is Mr. Flag Coco himself, Russel Woods. Good morning, Russell. How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic, Coach. It's always great to see you.
Hey, man, always, always. So, how you doing this morning? How's everything down in the valley?
It's starting to warm up. Today should be the first 80 degrees of the year, and I know that I say that knowing that there's still a foot and a half of snow up on the mountain for everyone else to deal with. But you'll get me back in the summer. It'll be nice and 85 degrees every day up there when I'm in my mail truck and there's degrees in there. And we'll get me back for it.
And if you get sun like we got snow, it's gonna be like 115, 118 for like 4 weeks straight.
This will be my eighth summer doing this with the post office, and it never gets easy, but you learn how to deal with it on a day-to-day basis.
And so you say you don't have air conditioning in the truck.
We just got a little dumb fan about this big around, and that's supposed to circulate through the entire truck. And you crack your windows and you say your prayers and drink a whole lot of water, but you get through on a day-to-day basis.
So you're a
Knowing that
mailman,
it's knowing that it lasts until probably November.
right?
That if you think about the whole thing, it's like trying to run a marathon. You can't run a marathon. Just you know, deal with it one day at a time.
That's what I was saying. You kind of like a mailman athlete. You got to be in some kind of shape
Hmm. Yeah.
just to get this done. But anyway,
Yes, sir.
man, this is a busy time for you as a mailman and as Mr. Flag Coco. We just finished basketball, wrestling, and soccer. Now we're right into softball, into baseball, in the cross country, into um,
Track and
outside
field.
volleyball and everything. So give us a little rundown on everything that's going on right now.
Well, I had yesterday also. I was able to catch up on Flag Coco. Here's some of the stories that I posted yesterday. If you want to get on uh, NAU club softball, that's coached by our friend Tommy Hernandez. They're
Yes,
off to
yes.
another great start. They had a terrific tournament in California. They're hosting a clinic on March 26th at the Flagstaff Athletic Club East. Um, NPA's Hannah Petrucci was named the Daily Sun's Soccer Player of the Year, and she's signed her letter of intent with Dakota Wesleyan.
Congratulations.
Uh, Beach volleyball has been going on in the valley for a couple of weeks, but we finally got it up on the mountain. All the other fields are snowed in, but they managed at Coconino to get the beach volleyball courts going. Panthers lost a tough one to Boulder Creek 3 sets to 2.
Oh, okay.
Um, uh, Flag High baseball, they swept Thunderbird the other day. Freshman, uh, JV, varsity, all four of our bat and ball teams, both Flag High and Coconino baseball, softball, they're all off to good starts.
That's great. That is awesome.
Um, and I wanted to give a shout out to Coconino's Avery Roten. Um, the world knows her better as Avery Anna, and she's up for a CMT Music Award.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that they'll air that on April 2nd, but you can get on their website. There's a link on Flag Coco on the Facebook page. There's a link on there where you can vote for breakthrough female video of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's,
Yeah, I wrote
uh,
a little bit. Just 3 years ago, she was a teenager, just like everyone else in Flagstaff.
mhm.
r- right when this time 3 years ago, that's when COVID hit and slammed everything shut, and everyone went to online classes and social distancing and masks. And look at her now.
Yes, that is all right. And what was
Mhm.
her name again? Let's make sure we give her a good shout out.
Well, her name is Avery Roten. She played volleyball and beach volleyball. That's how I get interested in it. But
Hmm.
her stage name around the world is Avery Anna.
Okay. Well, well, congratulations to her and her family, and we just got to keep a lookout for her and support her as we do all of our athletes.
Mhm.
So that's good stuff, man. And so, of course, we know NAU had a great run, men and women. Hopefully, not sure, but hopefully they do have some postseason opportunities. Even though they might not have made it to the big dance, there may be
Mhm.
some more opportunities out there for
Maybe
them.
the NIT or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and so especially with the women doing such a great job and finishing number one as the number one seed in the Big Sky Conference this year. So that was the accomplishment. And then for Coach Burkhardt to send his guys on that roll that they went on.
Yeah.
That his daughter wins the state championship on Thursday, and then he goes on this roll and gets to the state to the conference championship the following Thursday. So that was a great week for the Burkhardt family, and we're just happy to have him here in Flagstaff. So that's good stuff, man. Anything else everybody should know about? I know that as you running Flag Coco, you're about to come out with your magazine again, correct?
Yeah, I'm gonna resume it. That should come out around graduation time, and then uh, when we start back around for the next year, I'll of course do the online magazines for Flag High and Coconino football. And I took last year off because my health was just kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope to be stronger next year and resume the magazine and get that back out on a regular basis.
That sounds good, Coach. And so as we move forward now, we got a great guest on today, a gentleman that I've known for quite some time now, and we just want to make sure that everybody's represented. And this gentleman has been around for quite some time now, and not calling you old, Coach, just saying you've been around for quite some time now. Been a good friend of mine. So with that, Russell, would you bring out our guest, man?
Sure. Coconino Baseball is off to a strong start. They're 4-1 in AIA sanctioned games. They lost a heartbreaker last night, but they're looking strong on both offense and defense. And the whole leader of the gang is with us today. That's skipper Michael Sifling.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, guys. Danny, Russell, thanks for having me.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
being
being
here.
here. Thanks for being here. So, Coach, sounds like you're having a good year this year.
Off to a great start. I mean, I can't say enough about our senior leadership on this group and the experience that we have coming back this year, which, and I'll give you, I'll shout it out right now, Danny. I am getting old. Um, but it's just been a real pleasure to watch these kids grow and mature for the last 3 to 4 years.
Mhm.
And they just make it easy.
Russell.
Um, for those that aren't familiar with your background, could you tell us a little bit about uh, what you do for a living and how you came to work with the kids at Coconino?
So my background is in law enforcement. I spent 22 years with Coconino County Sheriff's Office, and that's where I first met Danny. No, don't read into that.
Yeah, let's get that
Yeah,
straight.
that's straight. Um, no, but through our common community interactions and stuff like that, that's where I first got to meet Danny. My oldest son went. Actually, three of my four kiddos came through Coconino. So Gus Besley, the Hall of Famer. He was still working with Flag PD at the time, and moving from California, family was young. I started coaching at Coconino while I was a detective with the sheriff's office. So I had coached here for about 10 years while doing both jobs. And then as my son progressed through high school, I stepped back and just to be a parent, let him earn his own way, which he did. And once that got settled and things got kind of back to normal, I retired from the sheriff's office at the same time that Ed Vesley was retiring from the district. Because once he left Flag PD, he came over to Flagstaff Unified School District. So what I really did was just step into the shoes of a legend, right? So I assumed his role as the overseer of safety and security for FUSD. So my office and base is here at Coconino, which was just a perfect fit to continue my coaching career. And as things progressed, here I am, second year head coach and loving every moment of it.
Congratulations. That's all right, man. And so you came from California. What about your playing career? Were you a baseball player, football player?
Oh yeah, I was 100% baseball, and in
Mhm.
California you don't deal with the snow, so that was something different for me to adjust to. We
Mhm.
played all year round, like
Right.
we're doing up here,
Mhm.
and yeah, coaching in Southern California. This is when the Giambies were coming through South Hills. I was at Northview High School.
Right.
Chris Woodward came through our program and a lot of other major leaguers,
Mhm.
but that was the norm. If you didn't have 6 or 7 D1 commits or kids getting drafted, then you weren't any good. I mean, that's just the way it worked. We had one team one year that I was part of where Mike Lamb and Mike Young didn't play for us. They transferred to Bishop Vermont, which is a Catholic school there.
Uh-huh.
And we ended up losing out to South Hills that year. It was Jason and Jeremy Giambi's senior and
Wow.
junior year. Um, after beating them 2 out of 3 times in region. So I mean, it's very competitive. I mean, that's the nature
Right.
I come from. Kids that understand the game,
Mhm.
every aspect of the game, and that's kind of the standard that we hold up here. And I'm seeing that coming full circle, whether it's Flag High or Coconino,
Right.
that the coaches coming through the program now are really starting to instill a lot of that understanding of the game, the
Mhm.
techniques, not just go out there, here's a ball,
Right.
So we're starting, we're going down the mountain and we're competing where we
Nice.
didn't see that 10 years ago, which
Right.
is a credit to the coaches up here on the mountain,
Mhm.
taking this thing to another level.
Yeah, I've been paying attention at least through Max Preps, keeping up with the scores, and uh, you've won games both with offense and with pitching. Could you tell us about? Let's start with some of your seniors. Your starting pitcher, Connor Callahan. He pitched a 1-0 shutout against Thunderbird, didn't
Correct. Yep. I mean, Connor was our ace last year as a junior. I think he
he?
was the region pitcher of the year for the Grand Canyon region.
Mm-hmm.
And he stepped right back into that role. He's a quiet leader.
Mhm.
He reminds me, and a lot of people out there that aren't our age won't know who Greg Maddox is,
Right.
but that's exactly who he reminds me of on the mound. And you talk about a young man that when he gets out there, never looks rattled, never gets. I mean, he just goes to work, and he
Mm-hmm.
just really dissects every hitter, just like Greg Maddox did. And as a head coach in the dugout, you're a nervous wreck. When I have Connor on the mound, that is when I'm at most peace because I know
Mm-hmm.
he's got it. He just gives me that comfort. When he's out there, it's under control. So he's
Mhm.
that guy for us. We're deep in pitching. We've got other guys that have stepped up. Caden Talley,
Mhm.
who he gets on the mound, and you got this. I don't want to embarrass him, but this skinny young boy, he can bring it. He got some velo. He surprises some guys, and a knuckleball that I've never seen thrown at the high school level like he commands it and throws it. Um,
Wow.
you've got some juniors that are in the wings with Connor Colwell,
Mm-hmm.
who's got a little velo and brings it and competes. we just really got a really deep pitching staff that Ed Vesley has taught how to compete every pitch, let things roll off their back, and just attack that hitter. Um, and the concept of pitching backwards. So that's been the success so far with our pitching staff.
Well, that's good, and that says a lot. And we were talking earlier just about the struggles you have trying to practice and do things on here in Flagstaff, even when there's not record snowfalls, there's a problem. So explain to us a little bit about what you've had to go through to practice and to get your games in and your home games.
It's always a blessing in February when you can do tryouts outside. It's not expected, but it's a blessing. This year, we didn't get blessed that way. So we do what we call gym ball. And I've got a great coaching staff that's constantly looking and searching and researching ways to challenge the players, keep it fresh, and do the best we can indoor on a basketball court.
Mm-hmm.
Now, some of the bigger challenges come when your basketball team and other sports that are finishing up are very successful because you're sharing time and splitting time and
right.
you got track and everybody wants the same space. So you do the best you can, and the coaches do a great job in working together. But taking ground balls on the gym floor is a lot different than
Right.
outside. Pitching and hitting in a batting cage indoors is different because the challenge is getting that 60-foot 6 inches distance and trying to get everyone their reps and everything else, right? So there's challenges, but I will tell you, we will never use that as an excuse.
Right.
Our boys put in the work. They get it. They've grown up in this. They understand it. And yet, I mean, you look at our defense as well as our offense. I mean, we're hitting well above the national average. Our defense is making the plays. And if anything, it's at the plate, it's just timing, right? It's just
right.
getting to two, we call it, or getting that front side down, staying back, doing that stuff. So the kids get it. They relish the challenge, and it's almost kind of our rally cry. It's like, no, we're ballers, and we're going to show you that we put in the work too. So, yeah, the challenges are there. On the weekend, on Saturdays, we travel to places that have dirt and grass. So we've been able to partner with Chino, and they've opened up their facilities for us, as well as Ashfork. So we will travel to Ashfork the next 2 Saturdays to just get some time in on a field. But it's just, it is what it is.
That is very true. That is very true. Russell?
We brought the pitching, but you're also able to manufacture runs. The top of my list for this is Jacob Klaus. He's hitting 500. He's got 6 stolen bases. He's another one of your senior leaders. Can you tell us about how his leadership in other sports has translated to the diamond?
So he is a 3-sport varsity letterman, which I believe he's got 9. He's probably coming up on 8 or 9 letters in his high school career. But this kid has a motor that knows no stopping. You couldn't ask for a bulldog on the mound, a bulldog at third base, a team leader. When he is at the plate, he is going to fight you tooth and nail. He is, I take a whole team. We lovingly call him Cub. That's just been his nickname forever. And this kid is a bulldog. But he's also one of those young men that is respectful, kind, has a big heart. He's the last one and always the first one to volunteer and the last one to leave practice to make sure everything is taken care of. And he's not a rah-rah cheerleader in the dugout. He's a work ethic kid. I mean, he's been raised very well, and he just puts in the work, even during basketball season. If they were practicing late and he knew that the baseball team, the fall ball or winter ball team was up there, he would run up in his basketball stuff before practice and take a few swings. I mean,
Wow.
that's just how this kid is wired. I just can't say enough about him. So thanks for bringing him up, Russell. Great young man.
No, I mean, you know, I know some of the kids from other sports and talking to parents, and but you've been playing all your games in the Valley, so it's hard to you know watch what they're doing. So when I do prep for this, I go by the stat sheets on Max Prep. So when I see Quinn Mickelson's hitting 400 and he has 5 stolen bases, the first thing I think of is he was just playing fullback for the football team, and how's he translate playing fullback, a tough nose position and linebacker. How's that translate into success in baseball?
It's that same work ethic. It's that attack the day mentality. It's that I'm there first and I go home last. It's that, coach, do you see anything wrong with my swing? Coach, what am I doing? Coach, how did that look? Video me. He's that constant studier of the game and of his abilities. I will stake my 30 plus years of high school baseball coaching on what I'm about to say. And this is absolutely the best first baseman defensively I have ever seen.
Wow.
He we hear the term vacuum at first base. He scoops everything.
Mhm.
This young man is the best I've ever seen.
Wow.
Smooth, sharp, quick. Oh man, does he get the game? He is one step ahead of everybody else on that field defensively, regardless of who we're playing. And he is going to go do things in college. At that next level, he will go do some damage. Left-handed swinging, power hitter with that work ethic, his ceiling is so high. It's just I am trying to slow this year down and enjoy my 7 seniors. I really am, because already we're 5 weeks in and it seems like yesterday we started, right?
Right. Right.
So my focus this year was to slow it down and just enjoy every moment with these kids because I'm going to miss them.
I
I'm going
wanted
to miss the special group.
I wanted to give a shout out to one more of your seniors, Cooper Dirt. He's already signed with Co College.
Correct.
Uh, not to maybe this is a spoiler alert, but do you know of any other colleges interested in your kids?
Yeah, and let's go back to Cooper first. Here's another young man that has worked his tail off to get where he's at. Cooper is another one of these young men that has led us for 3 plus years at the varsity level and has really taken on a very vocal leadership role. I mean, when you're behind the plate and you're grinding every day, you can go back to Callahan. These guys, I don't even know if they have to give signs. They're just on the same page because they have played ball together for years. But that's the kind of guy Cooper is behind the plate. He's got complete control. But yes, he is signed with Co, and he's going to move on and play at the next level. The two other ball players that have signed and one's about to, they're signing to go play golf.
Uh,
So
Jackson Hammond's one of those, isn't it?
yes. So Connor Callahan has already signed with, I don't want to get it wrong, Dakota Westland. I guess that's where the MPA player just signed. And that's probably where a lot of his calmness and just control comes from is that translates into the golf game, right? Never gets rattled.
Mhm.
And, Jackson Hammond, probably after spring break, I think he's committed. He just hasn't put paper to pen or pen to paper to go to Carroll College and play golf.
Ooh.
And he's another one of our senior leaders that is hitting well over 400 and just
Mhm.
another one of those guys that when he comes to the plate, he's going to put a ball in play. He's going to make things happen. So both of these guys that have signed to go play golf could also have signed to go play baseball.
They're
We've got a
still
lot
hitting the
of,
ball.
what's that?
I said they're still hitting the ball.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Just a bigger white ball. Um, and we've probably got 3 or 4 kids that are getting a lot of looks. Tyler Reagan's another one that's had a lot of interest. I mean, this kid's throwing a fastball in that 84 to 86 mile range, and that's going to get a lot of attention. So, I mean, he's got one of the best arms in the Grand Canyon region from the outfield, and accurate like none other.
Yeah, he's another one of those kids, kind of like Jacob Klaus, who letters in 3 sports and has been doing it since he was a sophomore. So he's I mean, not just getting his baseball reps in, but he's getting a complete athletic experience all year long, 3 years in a row.
Yeah, again, 8 or 9 letters. I mean,
Hmm.
that's you just don't see that in high school anymore.
No, you
You know,
don't.
it's I got to focus on this. We really relish, I think, and I'll speak for Flag, and I don't know, but I think up here on the mountain we relish the multi-sport athlete,
Yes, we do. Yes, we
and
do.
I think coaches are supportive of that, and we have to be, right? I
Right.
mean, that's just the world we're living in,
Mhm.
and I think these kids bring so many more the tangibles when they have those experiences. They understand failure, they understand success, whether that's on the baseball field, basketball court, football field.
Right.
And that experience translates into just great overall young men
Right.
that, like I said, I got to slow it down because I just really want to try to
Mhm.
soak them all in, because I'm going to miss every one of those seniors because they bring
Right.
so much to this program. They brought so much to this school that I just want to enjoy it.
Mm.
And it's funny because when you talk about Reagan and Callahan, when they were eighth graders, I coach a middle school team every year, and all of them were on this middle school team with Ivory Washington and all of them. We won the city championship. And I'm like, look at all these basketball players. And then Callahan went to golf. Tyler's playing football, basketball, baseball, everything. So they're just great athletes. And I can co-sign on the fact that they're just very, very good people. Their parents are very good people. I mean, I knew Callahan's dad when he was, a
Absolutely.
kid.
And let me say this real quick, Danny. They understand the student athlete part of this. They
Right.
are great students.
Yes, they
I
are.
don't have to worry about grade checks. I bet you
Mhm.
with these 7 seniors, I'm somewhere in that 3.8 to 4.2 GPA
Wow.
range.
Wow.
That's awesome.
These
I
kids
believe it.
get it. I
Yes,
mean, that's what I'm saying. I just can't speak enough about, and where does that come from? From home, right?
exactly.
And through
Exactly.
those morals and ethics and understanding that it's a big picture out there. And they're
Right.
going to go out and do some great things.
They are. They are. And because they're just really, really good people. And I can definitely co-sign for that. And just happy for them and for what you're doing with them. So yeah, that's important. That's important. So, but just watch. So you baseball wise, because I know how AIA and everything is. You're still 4A conference, correct?
Correct.
We're still in the Grand Canyon region.
Toughest region in 4A.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Hands down.
Wow. So I know Mingus usually has a pretty good team.
They're coming back. They've got some
Are they?
ballers coming up. Yes.
So
Eric
so
does a
who
great job.
so
What's
who's
that?
at top right now of the conference?
Well, we are, of course. I wouldn't say anybody else. I will tell
Good
you
answer.
this. I will tell you this. Bradshaw and that coaching staff is always going to put a product on the field that you're
Right.
going to have to compete to beat. Um, Lee Williams, same thing. They're going to be young this year, but with Coach Smith over there and that program, they're up and coming again, and they're going to compete. They're going to beat some people.
Mhm.
Flag High, same way. Boy, do they got a great group of young men coming through that program, and they're going to be good. And I think Kenny over there is putting together a good staff,
Yes.
and we're gonna have to play to beat them. Mingus with
Yeah.
Eric does a great job over there, and
Mhm.
he's got a sophomore catcher this year that was a freshman last year. This kid is lights out. This kid's gonna make
Really.
some noise. I couldn't tell you his name at the moment. I can see him, but this kid's good. Prescott, same thing. They had one of the better freshman teams last year, so
Mhm.
they're going to be young but very competitive. So that's why I say at the end of the year, when playoffs and play-in games are done, and you've got 5 or 6 Grand Canyon region teams
Right.
moving on into those, that's a tough conference.
That is very tough. Are they having to open division in baseball like they're doing football, basketball, and everything yet?
Boy, I hope not, but I haven't heard. I don't think so. I haven't heard that yet. Wouldn't surprise me,
Right.
but at
I
the
mean,
same
that's
time, I hope not.
But the Grand Canyon region has become tougher, not just in baseball, but across the board.
right.
Football, you had both Prescott and Bradshaw making it to making it to the making it through to the playoffs. Basketball, you had several teams. Is there? I mean, schools will, if they lock onto a decent set of coaches and run with it. But it seems like across the board, the Grand Canyon region always has good coaches and that translates into harder working kids, and the last few years they're producing in pretty much every sport. Are we looking out in Northern Arizona, or is there something that we do that they don't do in Phoenix or Tucson?
I think what we've started to do over the past few years is really increase a lot of our travel ball teams,
Mm-hmm.
really increase our youth sports in general, right? And that's producing those coaches and those kiddos. As by the time they get to high school, you're starting to just fine tune a product. So we've got
Mm-hmm.
a lot of really good, I don't want to call them under coaches to the high school level, but that's the only word I could come up with, that are out there putting in the time, putting in the effort. Um, but what I also see is we're not shying away from the better competition.
Right.
We're not shying away from the Pinnacles and the Tolosons and the 5A and 6A schools down in the valley. Anyone, anytime, anywhere, any place. How do
Yes.
we get better? We
Yes.
play better competition.
Mm-hmm.
You
Right.
see that with basketball.
Right.
You see that with football. We're trying to load our schedules with this type of competition.
Right.
So I think that's where a lot of our Grand Canyon strength comes from. It's because
Mm-hmm.
the coaches get that philosophy. And I mean, just go back to the Tolleson tournament. We had 4 Grand Canyon region teams in that tournament, and we all played
Mm-hmm.
6A and 5A schools. That's
Wow.
just going to make us better.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, it's a far cry from loading up your schedule with Page and Tuba City every year.
correct. And nothing against them.
Right.
It's
Right.
just
They do well in 3A, and that's good for them. But if you want to compete on a statewide level in your 4A, you've got to look, at the bigger schools.
correct. So I would think that's the biggest feather in our cap up here. That's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. We're starting to see that we're able to compete down in the valley. So when my
Mm-hmm.
son Casey was 12, 13, and we were traveling down to Phoenix, we were just getting it handed to us every weekend.
Mhm.
That's not the case anymore,
Right.
which has just been awesome to see. Doesn't matter the sport. We're going down there and we're competing.
Right. And I mean, we're doing the same. We get Flagstaff hoops, which will be starting up, and we used to go down there. We'd have to tell the parents, be prepared for a rough, because we're putting our teams against the best competition we can find. That's the only way you're going to get better. And now we're at the point where we're obviously competing and winning state championships. So
Yeah,
we're
there you
happy
go.
about that. And I think the biggest thing, Coach, is the way, and you said it earlier, all the coaches work together, the football, basketball, baseball coaches all understand the situation that we're all in at our schools. And we're working really, really good together. And in between the schools. There's just a great relationship. And it's for the kids. All the kids are ours, regardless whether they're Flag High, Coconino, MPA basis. So that should be our one goal. All of our one common goal is to do what's best for the kids here in the Flagstaff. And you're doing a great job.
Danny, the one thing that comes to mind is unity of purpose.
That's right.
It's a unity of purpose. What's our
That's right.
purpose? To raise young men and women to go out there and be successful people out in the world, right? So
That's
that's
right.
that's the cry, right? That's what we do.
And give them a better chance than we had. And
There
they
you
do it
have it.
for the next one. So, Coach, it's that time of the day where we want you to give us some great advice for these kids, parents, whatever the case is. I don't know what your answer is, because it's time for Russel Woods to come with the golden nugget question of the day for Coach Sifling. What you got
I
for
had
us,
to be
Russell?
nervous. I wasn't nervous till now.
We'll wait for Russell. Russell's coming at you.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
one of these days it's gonna be me setting you up, Daniel. It's gonna be me the one going that. I'll do something else, but it's not gonna be that.
I'll go sideways on you.
Um, what's the one thing you want your players, especially your seniors? What's the one thing you want them to take with them after graduation, whether they play ball on the next level or college, career, family? What's the one thing you want them to take away from them from their experience as a Panther, as a part of Coconino baseball?
That they are prepared to take on life's challenges, regardless of what they are. That they are prepared as students, as athletes. They are prepared to be great fathers, husbands, and mentors.
Mm.
That we've prepared them the best way we could to set them up to be successful. I mean, that's would be my prayer and hope for these young men. That's their takeaway.
That's
I
the
like
way.
that.
That's the way every coach should look at that. You're not just trying to rack up W's or championships, but you're creating men.
That's right. That's right. And that's where our joy comes from when they come back 10 years later and say, "Hey, coach, you did this for me, and you never knew you did that."
Exactly.
So that's where, as a coach, your joy really comes from, and it's definitely not the paycheck. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
yeah. So, Coach, we really appreciate you being on the show today. If you ever got anything that you want to bring to the show, you got announcements you want to make, anything, man, please hit us up. Hit us up. We love to have you here. We want to, just keep celebrating you and your team as you go forward. And I just appreciate you as a friend, man. And nice seeing you again. So, once again, for me, I really appreciate it. Thank you for being here, Russell.
Uh, I've been in and out of Coconino for the last decade doing this, and you've always been there, whether it's at Cromer Stadium or at the for a basketball game, and you're an omnipresent force. You're always there with
Yes,
a
he is.
handshake, and you're always welcome. Thank you for welcoming me and letting me be part of the Coconino family.
Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
All right. Hey, we'll see you later, Coach. Thank you.
All right,
Enjoy your
guys.
day. Enjoy your
Thank
day.
you.
All right. So, all right, Russell. Hey, man, you're the guy on this show that runs out and gets the guests for us, and you picked a good one this year, man. This week. So,
Yeah.
always good to see Coach
Mike is a
Sifling.
class act, and
Very much so.
he's professional in everything he does, and I'm hopefully he watches this because he's already logged out. But I appreciate him being part of the Coconino family.
Right.
Coconino's got a lot of coaches and administrators that are just good men.
Yes.
And we can list them off, but no, he's part of something special at Coconino.
Right.
Uh, like we say, they coach them to be men. You don't see players screwing around on the sidelines. What in any sport, whether it's basketball or football or whatever, they're all focused. They all have intent. They know why they're going to be on the field, and like hopefully those are things that'll translate into their careers and their their
Right.
academics and whatever they do once they graduate.
Yes, and there's been some great guys come through that program and have done some great things just around. So, kudos to Coach Sifling and his staff. And just by knowing him personally and knowing what a good man he is, I know if they're looking at their coach for the right way to do things, they got a good one in Coach Sifling.
Yes, they do.
Well, I guess you got to go to work, huh?
Some of us still have to work, yeah.
Hey, man, that's
I
the
mean,
nature of the
we can't
beast.
say every other year we're retiring and then we find find some other task to get ourselves into. No, no. Some of us have a. Well, today it'll be about a 9 to 5. Usually it's about a 8 to 4. But no, yeah, in about 20 minutes I'll be loading up my truck and hitting the street.
Well, hey, you go out there, you enjoy yourself. Once again, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe, hit the like button. Hit us up live, give us a question or something. And just know that we're enjoying this, we're having fun, and we hope that you are too. Let us know how we're doing. So, Coach, it's time to let you get on to work.
Dang. You're slipping the word coach in there with me, and
I am, man.
you can call me a stat geek, you can call me a wannabe historian, but I'll leave the coaching to the real coaches.
Well, that's all right, man. It's just you're out here, you're doing it. You're a coach in the way you're handling all of us, and taking care of all of us. So how's that? How's that? That's
like
good.
I'm out there herding cats. That kind of thing.
Well, I don't know if we're that bad, but we'll be okay. And I just want to put out there I mentioned Flagstaff Hoops basketball. It's a competitive program that Coach Johnson and I have. If anybody out there is interested in playing flag hoops, we got boys and girls teams. On the 19th of this month, we will have a parent players coaches meeting, 4 p.m. Flag High School, and start practice that week, and then get right into our competitive travel ball season. And anybody from boys, girls, 5th through high school that are interested, come join us. So just wanted to put that in. And Coach, time to go, man.
All
it's
too
time
soon.
to go.